Namaste and welcome to Enter Zen. Here's 10 Zen days of the holiday. Today's day 7, and it's part 2 of the mantra series, choosing your mantra or theme for 2017. And I'm talking to you about mantras and themes rather than goals or resolutions, because when we choose a goal or resolution, usually it gets us, we're resolute or we get locked onto that goal and we just are veering in that one direction. And it cuts out so much of the potential growth along the path. Maybe our path isn't straight that way, it's this way and that way and that way. And for example, you could say, I have a goal of losing 10 pounds. And then we go, our mind starts to calculate, oh, well, you're going to need to do this, this, and this. And then we do this diet, and then all of a sudden, bam, everything's mapped out for us. And I know it sounds corny, but I know you know it's true, but it's all about the journey. We grow through the journey. It's all about the path, the process that gets us there. And if the process is mechanical, and if the process doesn't allow for creativity and flow and a little bit of places to fuck up and make mistakes, then we're not going to reach the potentiality that we could reach. So instead of that, maybe we say your mantra is, I choose health for 2017. I choose health. I choose to be healthy in what I put in my mind, how I cultivate my thoughts, in what I put in my body, in my mouth. I choose health. And that gives us a whole different perspective on the topic. And then we start to assess, well, why do I want to choose that in the first place? Why would I want to lose 10 pounds? We start to think completely in completely different, broader strokes than making it a strict, rigid goal. And I talked to you about mantras being traditionally, phonetically, a sound that people would use to chant over and over. So I'm going to give you a lot of variations and kind of newer versions of mantras, but you can go old school and use a sound like the source of all mantras. Om is the most simple, basic mantra that you could pick. Om, O-M. The source of all mantras, because it is the sound of the universe, the first sound of the universe as the universe broke into existence. So can't get much more grandiose than that. So maybe that's your mantra for next year. I'm just going to chant 1 or 10 or 5 out loud Oms every day. That would completely change your perspective in your life. A year from now, you would be a different human being. You would be a different being. Maybe it's, I'm going to let go. Let go of what are you clinging to and clasping so tight with both hands to that's holding you back, holding you down. What if I let go of fear, of doubt, of hate, of worry? Let go. Maybe it's, I choose peace as your mantra. A lot of people say, I hate being around all these negative people in my life, but it happens over and over that those people come into our life and we cultivate relationships with those kinds of people. And maybe I choose peace is a good way to look and view that topic from a whole different perspective. And I choose peace. It's that simple. Start asking, how can I bring peace into my life? What is peace? Who brings me peace? What doesn't bring me peace? What does bring me peace? Maybe it's just flow. Just flow. I'm going to be present as often as I can and get into flow, states of flow. Maybe it's, this is a really cool one I found, paper lions, paper tigers, paper bears. They're just paper lions, just paper tigers, that's just a paper bear. So we used to get chased, our ancestors used to get chased, and this is ingrained in us as our fight or flight state, our sympathetic part of our autonomic nervous system. And so our ancestors used to get chased by lions, and they were real. A lion would come and get you, you'd be dead. But we worry about paper lions, paper receipts, paper bank statements, paper accounts, paper bills. Those are our lions, our bears. And now, instead of maybe once a day a lion coming along, or once a week you'd run into a lion, we're running to Paper lions, paper bears, paper tigers, paper lions, paper bears, all day long. They keep us up at night. And wow, what would be the state or frame of mind you would be in a year from now if you learned to think of those just like that? It's just a paper tiger. It's a paper receipt. Why did I spend that even though I didn't have it just because I wanted it? It's just a paper receipt, but it's a paper that's keeping me up at night. Or it's just a paper check that shows my income. It's just a paper bill that maybe I'm a little bit late on this month or behind or have to find a creative way to come up with a solution. But it's a piece of paper that is getting into my gut, and it's causing the same visceral reaction as that lion that chased my ancestor on the Serengeti that was going to kill them. And I'm stressing that much. I'm going into those corrosive chemicals that are being produced from the stress and the adrenaline, and I'm over and over 10 times a day, 20 times a day reliving that. It's just a paper lion. It's just a paper lion. Maybe you use a simple sound like for not just the way it resonates or feels in your body, but maybe you add to it and you take a meaning from it. So you use it in one way and another way. So Om Namah Shivaya is a beautiful Sanskrit saying. And if you look that up and see some chanting of that, it's just beautiful. It sounds beautiful and it resonates so beautifully in your being. But it means to honor the God or goddess within. Next year, I will honor the goddess within every chance I get. Whether it's getting to that hard yes before I agree to have that encounter or that interaction emotionally or physically or sexually with that other person, or maybe it's I'm going to honor the goddess within and connect to my feminine aspects, those strengths. Maybe it's connecting to the inner God within. Maybe it's finding my true inner voice or my strength there. Boy, that would change your perspective, and you could use that term, you could chant it and allow it to resonate in your being. And then you could also use it phonetically, but also use it, the meaning of the word, and use the meaning and pull that into your life. That's a 2-for-1. We love 2-for-1s. It's a 2-for-1 mantra. That's a 2-for-1 mantra. We love those. So we looked at where mantras came from, how they can be useful as a tool instead of a rigid goal, what our mantras are, because we all have them even if we don't think they are, and now maybe what to look. We pick about 5 or 10 areas and choose about 5 or 10 mantras. So you've got the next 4 days before New Year's Eve to just pick a bunch of mantras and to see how they resonate with you. So pick a bunch of them and say, well, maybe I want to work on this aspect of my life, or this aspect of my life, or this thing. And then once you have narrowed them down to 5 or 10, start playing with them, dropping them down right into your gut and let them marinate inside and see which ones really resonate strongly with you. Which ones give you a hard yes. That would be a good place to focus my energy on. And you can do that by, I'm going to teach you a little method to connect to your instinct, your gut instinct, your intuition, your internal compass. This is a great little internal compass guide, and it's fun to do. So when you get a minute, I'm going to ask you to stand up and get on your feet. This works best if you can do it standing, and it will only take about 2 or 3 minutes. So you're going to settle into your feet, sink into your hips and your knees, and shake up and down, maybe shake the shoulders. You can put this thing down. You don't need to look at it. You can just hear what's going on. I'll walk you through it. But settle into your feet and spread the toes out. Really let them open up. Give them a nice wriggle, and then rock into your heels and the balls of the feet, and just kind of give a wiggle. Maybe you rock side to side, and then you start to sway in whatever direction your sway feels good in. Maybe it's a side to side sway. Maybe it's a forward back sway. And as you sway, close your eyes and reset the cadence of your breath. Do a few ahs, or maybe an om, a few ahs. Just see how they resonate in your being, in your body. And then when you're ready, settle in to a stop. Sink into the hips and knees, soften them down, and then relax through your root, your Mula Bandha, your root lock. Let it go. We're so uptight in the West in our root lock area, in our pelvic floor area. Just soften and connect Just let go and connect, and start to draw that energy upward, all the way up into your crown, and just open up your root chakra area. Open up your pelvic floor. Soften into your pelvic floor. Soften into that vulnerability. Know that you're safe here. You're grounded. Allow yourself to ground in. And then you're going to go up to your belly or heart center. This is where we hold our gut instinct, right? This is our gut instinct. And soften and let your belly round and become full. And take those full big belly breaths. On the inhale, expand. And just let the belly become soft and full without any judgment. Move up to your solar plexus and give a few sighs of relief for that area of your body, that solar plexus, that vulnerable spot. So your solar plexus and your heart, two vulnerable spaces, and we're going to feel safe and go in there. Maybe take your hand and just rest it on your heart center and just feel the weight of the palm of the hand there, and just connect to your heart center. When you're ready, you're going to settle onto both feet evenly and just let the hands dangle at the sides of your hips, and close the eyes. And then just take a few breaths here and start to think of something you love, something that's going to give you a hard yes, a truth, at your gut instinct, in your internal compass, an internal compass yes. And it's something that you love or brings you joy. It can be a lover, it can be an animal, it can be a spouse, it can be a mother, a sister, a friend. It can be something you love that brings you joy. Flying down the mountain on your mountain bike and flow, or flying down the mountain on your skis or snowboard or longboarding, whatever brings you joy. Maybe it's the smell of a flower up against your nose. Whatever it could give you a hard yes, and you ask, do I love so-and-so or such and such, or whatever it is. Ask it in a form of a yes answer, and then see what, as it resonates with you and you know it's going to be a hard yes, feel what happens in your body as you close your eyes. And sometimes you'll get this pull forward, or this push back. It almost knocks the wind out of you as you go back, or a sway side to side, right or left. And you're just noticing for, what does a hard yes feel like in my body? And then do the same thing with something you don't love, something you hate, something you don't enjoy doing, somebody who stresses you out, somebody who, does this person bring me peace? No. And get a hard no, like, no, I do not like that. And then see how that reacts in your body. You're just learning really to drop in and tune inward and connect to your internal compass. And so over the next couple of days, you're going to drop in some of those mantras that you've chosen and see is this a hard yes? Is this a good mantra for me? And just start to narrow them down. Focus on one simple mantra for the year. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey, and I wish you peace and zen and joy this holiday season. Coming into the new year, all of mankind, we're coming into something new. Anew. Namaste.